By the time they are 10 years old, children in Britain have eaten their way through an entire childhood's worth of sugar. That's according to research by Public Health England, which is urging parents to take action and cut back on their children's sugar intake to tackle obesity. Children over the age of 4 should have no more than the equivalent of 5 to 7 cubes a day, depending on their age. That's the recommended amount. But in reality, they're consuming almost double that, an average of around 13 cubes a day. Our correspondent Sophie Hutchinson reports.
Can you pass me the...
Putting away the Christmas treats, Cara says her boys have a healthy diet, but she hasn't completely banned them from eating sugary snacks. Today's report, though, that by the time children are 10, they've consumed the recommended sugar intake for an 18-year-old has shocked her.
It's frightening because, like I said, it is the hidden sugar that's probably, like doing it because you're not scrutinising every product that your child's eating. You have to be quite strict because if they could just open the cupboard now and there's biscuits and that in the cupboard, but they know not to, they will ask, and so they had some yesterday, didn't you? We don't stop them, but they know only to have 1 or 2 biscuits. They wouldn't have it every single day.
Public Health England is warning that families need to look more closely at what they're buying and cut back on sugar by choosing healthier versions of the foods they eat.
Cutting that breakfast cereal down to a lower sugar breakfast cereal will save 50 cubes of sugar. That's a lot. These things add up, and before you know it, you can make a real change to your child's diet and to their health in the future.
So what is the main source of sugar in children's diets? Well, 6% comes yoghurt, 8% from breakfast cereals, but 10% still comes from fizzy drinks. And the main culprit are these. 14% comes from children eating chocolate and sweets. There's already a levy on sugary soft drinks, but now Public Health England has said if manufacturers don't reduce sugar enough in food, there may be a case for a so-called pudding tax on puddings, yogurts, cereals and chocolate. But the food industry says it won't work.
There's no international evidence that food taxes change obesity. They might change prices, they might change what people buy in the shops, but they don't necessarily change their overall eating patterns.
Just how to help people cut back on sugar is still being heavily debated, but what is clear from those eating it is just how irresistible it can be.
Oh, you can stop yourself, can you? What do you say to yourself?
I don't say anything, just don't look at it. Because once I look at it, I eat it.
Once you look at it, you eat it?
Yeah, so only if it's... depends if it's mine.
Well, Sophie joins me now. So other than parents trying to stop their children eating so much sugar, what more can be done?
Well, there is currently a voluntary scheme between Public Health England and manufacturers to try to reduce sugar in the foods eaten by children. Now, the goal of that is a reduction of 20% by the year 2020. Now, of course, that's just next year. So we're moving quickly towards it, but the progress made with that scheme is so far a reduction of just 2%. So there is some concern. Manufacturers are very keen to keep going with that voluntary scheme, but Public Health England is saying that if more progress isn't made, then they may have to look at something else, and that's where this whole idea about possibly some kind of pudding tax, where puddings and yogurts and chocolate might be taxed if they feel that they need to move forward with that. The problem with reducing the amount of sugar in some of the foods children eat are, of course, sweets are full of sugar, and if you reduce sugar in sweets, is it still a sweet at the end of the day? So there are all sorts of tricky things here that need to be worked out, but some are saying a levy is the only way forward.
Sophie Hutchinson,